Wolfpack, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. Today, I'm out for a plain and simple snow adventure. This trek here is up on the mountains above my house, and as you can see, the landscape is covered in snow. It's beautiful. While it's beautiful, it's also extremely hard to walk on. These are, in my opinion, some of the worst conditions to hike in. And that's because the temperature's too high. It's too high for good snow walking. Right now it's about 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Everything is melting. Everything is slick. Super, super slick. As you can see. There's simply something about snow. It just calls to that inner wolf inside you. It makes you want to get out, to explore, to enjoy it. I really like this spot, with the exception of all the widowmakers. There are tons and tons of them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least 7 right here. The odds are I could probably camp up here, no problem. But I'm not going to take any chances. And that is something that you have to keep in mind when you're in the outdoors. What risks are you willing to take? Because everything you're doing involves a risk. Every decision has a repercussion. It's been a while since I've been up here, maybe a year and a half. One of those trees is new. The big one there, that was there before, but it looks like there's maybe 2 more that's fallen on top of it. As I mentioned, there is quite a bit of deadfall in this area. Whew. Cheers, everyone. It is water time. I'm hot and sweaty. Just a little bit. I mean, I could still dry out before it really gets cold, but it's definitely warm. It's really hard to hike in this. As I mentioned before, it's just so wet, so slick. Everything underneath the snow is like a slush. I like this area, but this will not do as far as camping goes. Everything here is just a little bit too wet. There's too much pooling. I'm right next to the water. I could find better. But for coffee purposes, this will be perfect. So this stove, my friends, is the Trangia Stove. I left some of the components at the house, those that I didn't need for this trip, but this is a really cool alcohol stove-based system. And what I like about this, even though it is a little bit heavy, there's so many different ways that you can set this up and use it. You can use it this way. You can also do what I refer to as the double wall wind sloped setup. In a previous winter storm overnight adventure, I showed you all this setup, and I was surprised. There was like 2 or 3 comments from people really upset. And they're like, you don't know how to use it. You're using it wrong. Well, the funny thing is, I was using it right, but it's wrong if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have enough experience with it. There are ways to use this that are very beneficial for using it in snow and also on sloped surfaces. This works really well when it's flat. But when you have a sloped surface, when you're like sitting on a bank or on a hill, something like that, you want to be able to set the stove up like this, but still be able to heat straight up and down. And that's what that setup lets you do. Oh yeah, everyone, taster's nasty. Nothing but the good stuff for me. Okay. Cheers, my friends. Cheers. Oh yeah, that is good and nasty right there. It's getting dark. The sun will be down here in just a little bit. At the same time, it is getting colder. Tonight, the low is supposed to be around 27 degrees, which isn't all that bad, really. As of right now, it's clear sky, but it is supposed to get cloudy tonight, and there may be some snow in the morning. One source is calling for it, no one else is, so we will see. Here in a minute, I will show you that double-walled setup that I talked about with the Trangia Stove. It's pretty sweet. It's not something that you can use in every situation, but in some, it will really save your butt. Yeah. And that's because this is the real world, right? Not everything's flat, nothing's perfect. So you better learn how to use your gear. Get creative. It will save your butt, that's for sure. Taster's nasty, hardcore, on the edge. It makes hair pop out from everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. It makes some people go blind, temporarily. You may not know this, but the military outlawed it. Made their soldiers too violent. It's the good stuff. While there's many reasons why I'm out for this trip, there's one big reason. I am testing out a new piece of gear tonight, and that is a heated sleeping bag liner from a company called, dang it, what is it called? Ignik or something maybe? I don't know, don't hold me to that. But I got this in the other day, and it's one of those products where I'm just not sure about. I haven't used it yet, really. I'm willing to give it a shot, but I see potential problems. It's a heated sleeping bag liner for backpacking, car camping, truck camping, overlanding. And I'll show it to you all later, and I'll share my thoughts, what I think so far about it. I don't know. Maybe it will blow me away, but then again, it might let me down, so we will find out. I'm going to finish up the coffee, head back over this ridge, get out of this holler here, and I don't know. Maybe I could find something a little bit more open and flat. We will see. So folks, let's talk about the Trangia Stove real quick here. Let me show you all the double walled setup. So this is the standard setup, but let's go ahead and change this up. You can take out the stove, take the windscreen and put this upside down. Stick in the next section, and what you have here is a double wall, right? With the pot support. You have the spot for the stove in the bottom. Now check this out. You could set this up at any sort of angle, and you can have a flat pot right here. This is sloped to a great degree, and because of this, you could still use it, and it's still vertical. You may not be able to see the degree by looking at it, but check this out. This is the slope, but yet that is actually fairly level, and you could still use it to heat and boil water and whatnot. That's why the double wall setup is so awesome. Also, because you have the double walls, it doesn't matter if you're inside of a hurricane, you are well protected with this setup. So there you go, everyone. That's a little Trangia secret for you. Let's get moving. It's starting to get cold there. The temperature's going down. It will be dark fairly soon. Let's go see if we can find a place to camp tonight. What I love the most about snow is the way that it illuminates the landscape, so to speak. You could see every nook and cranny, every hill, every divot, and it's only because of the snow. Otherwise, it would kind of blend in, especially from a distance. I love that. This, my friends, is not a bad spot. It's flat, plenty of trees to set up my tarp. There is some firewood. I think I'll go with it. Everyone, this is the heated sleeping bag liner. Ignik, sustainable outdoor heat, be the change. I'm not entirely sure what that means exactly. these are my thoughts on this product so far. First off, there's only a very short zipper to get inside of this. It's about 1 foot long on the right hand side. I would personally like to see a zipper that goes all the way down to the footbox so you can easily get in and out of it, especially when you're going to be using this product primarily for car camping. Now, as I mentioned before, you can use this for camping, and you have to use this right here. And this is a USB adapter. This will run on USB power as well as 12 volt DC power, but you have to have an adapter to run it on DC. When you use USB, it cuts the power output and the heat output in half. So it's rated for roughly 10 degrees instead of 20 degrees. Unfortunately, the entire liner is not heated, just a section here at the footbox and here at the back. I asked the company, what does the liner add to your sleeping bag? And they said 5 to 10 degrees. They weren't certain. Now that I'm saying that out loud, I wonder, does the heating elements add 10 degrees and the bag itself add 5? So is that 15? Yeah, I don't know. The next thing that I really don't like is the wiring. You have a pocket here on the left-hand side. It's just a big mess. It's just a big mess of wires. And the wire itself to plug into your USB power, it's not very long, but yet there's this huge wad of wires in here that's long for no reason. So I just don't get it. This one wire looks like it has been damaged and it has been repaired. I'm sure that's not the case. I'm sure that's just the way that it was made, but it doesn't look very good. My shelter system has been set up, and this is very, very simple. I have a tarp here in a shelf formation. I have a plastic ground sheet on the ground. Then I have the elephant skin on top of that, sleeping pad, sleeping bag, the liners inside, and now I am in good shape. My plan now is to gather as much firewood as I can. I'd like to have a nice fire to sit around tonight, so I'm going to shut off the camera, collect firewood. I will bring you all back very soon. Now tonight's dinner is going to be amazing. I have a real Termat meal, and that is Reindeer Stew. And it is exactly what it sounds like. To the viewer who sent this in, I appreciate you big time. Now we're talking, everyone. That feels amazing. Tell you what, it is a beautiful night to be out. The moon, it is getting a little bit cloudy, but the moon's still out. Some nice warm water. Oh, man. Whew. Life is good. Life is good. 2021. I think we should all make it our mission for this to be an incredible year. All the things that you've wanted to do, never done, let's do it, folks. It's time to get out and to explore, to do cool things. Oh yeah. It's time to do everything that we wanted to do. Of course, as safely as possible. I have to ask you, what is it that you're going to do for 2021? What's the big thing that you want to do? For Susie and I, we want to go hike Mount Hood in Oregon. I was at Mount Hood, oh gosh, it might have been about 12 years ago, something like that. It was a long time ago, but I was absolutely blown away with the place. It was just so beautiful. We went to the resort that's up there, and snow was up to the second-story window. I made a promise to myself, I know that sounds silly, but I made a promise that I was going to return one day. Susie and I are going to trek across the country and do the loop there. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. That is going to be so much fun. It really is. More than likely, we will overland in the truck, just like we did with Colorado this year. That trip, by the way, was amazing. That was so much fun. I think with the virus and whatnot, I don't think I'm going to be hopping on a plane anytime soon. What about you? Hopping on an airplane or driving? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's see if dinner is ready. I'm not really sure how long it's been. So this is Reindeer Stew. Ha. Oh yeah. Oh man. That is absolutely incredible, folks. Honestly, this is the best freeze-dried meal in the entire world. It's the best thing I've ever had. So these are the ingredients: potato, reindeer meat, onion, carrot, cream, milk, wheat flour, rapeseed oil, blah 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 blah, tomato paste, seasoning, onions. Okay. So the potatoes themselves taste like they're from KFC. You know they're good. And then you have the reindeer meat and the vegetables. It is awesome. It really is. The weather is confused. A minute ago, it was blowing this way. Then it was blowing towards my tarp. Now it's blowing this way. What do you all think? Will that heated sleeping bag liner make a difference? Will it be a good product? I don't know. I'm not sure. About an hour before I go to bed, I will turn it on. So it'll be nice and warm, hopefully. Let's be honest, for $100, it better be incredibly warm. It's $100. It weighs about, I believe, 1.2 pounds. Considering those factors, yeah, it better be warm in there. Okay, folks, I have a question for you all. It says here, dinner is served, folks. All you need is 3.9 DL of hot water. Maybe I'm having a dense moment or something, but what does DL stand for? I have no idea at the moment. I hope that when I'm editing this, it doesn't just dawn on me and I'm like, oh, I'm so stupid. I cannot think of what that means. I find that I have really vivid and strong dreams when I sleep like this. Maybe it's just being a little bit more exposed, your senses are just a little bit more acute. You're asleep, but yet kind of awake, you're alert. It really can bring on some pretty strong, strange dreams. Having snow on the ground makes cleanup a cinch. All you have to do is Take your pot, your cup, whatever it may be. It's abrasive enough to get off all the dirt, the food particles and whatnot. And it really does make cleanup that simple. It's about an hour before bedtime. Let's go ahead and plug up this sleeping bag liner. So it's on red, that's the highest level. With this trip here, it's a nice change of pace. It's not like brutally cold. Everything's not like frozen solid. It does make hiking in it a little bit difficult, but still very pleasant. The last couple of trips that I've done have just been brutal cold. But the thing is, I love every single trip. All you have to do really is prepare. If you prepare the right way, you have the right gear, the right clothing, you can have a blast doing anything. Speaking of which, I have an idea about something that I want to try out. And I will do this in an upcoming adventure. I have an idea for a shelter system to be used with a tarp that would create a like 4-season tent sort of thing. It will be interesting to see if it actually works or not. But maybe in the next adventure, I will give that a shot. Since I started this channel, you can only imagine how many companies have approached me asking to make a product with them, to put my name on a product and so on. And every single time I've said no, I'm not interested in that. Even though I do have some ideas, this channel is not about selling products. I don't ever want to go there. I'm not a salesman. I don't like that sort of thing. Selling products, having my logo, my name stamped on something would really take away from what this channel is, in my opinion. I've heard from other YouTubers, those who have gone into business with some other companies, and mistakes were made. They've made their lives very stressful. Some things have been shared openly in the public on YouTube, and then again, some things have been kept private with some of these YouTubers. It's not my place to say anything, but it really does go to show being agenda-free, living a stress-free life, no drama. Oh yeah, it's well worth it. It is. Everyone, it is bedtime. With this sleeping bag liner, this is actually the second time that I've been out with it. I did a trip some time back and it went off the rails. Maybe one day I'll talk about it. I actually filmed part of it, and because things didn't work out, I've been sitting on the footage. I don't know what to do with it. Maybe I'll come up with something. But, yeah, I took it out. I wasn't able to use it though. Putting my hand on the inside, I mean, there's a little bit of heat. I mean, very, very little. I wouldn't even classify that as being warm. I could tell a difference between it and the sleeping bag, and that's about it. It might still be too early to judge it. All right, let's see if I can get inside of this thing. Not easily, good lord. That's not easy. It'd be so much easier if this had a big long side zip. I always take my gaiters and I cover up my boots just in case it starts snowing. That way you don't wake up to a shoe full of ice and snow. When it comes to the liner, I can't tell. I really can't tell. It's not noticeable enough for me to say, hey, there's a warm pocket down there and there's a warm pocket right here. And in my opinion, that's a problem. For 100 bucks, you should be able to tell. You should be able to notice it. And as is, I don't notice anything. As is, I don't notice it at all. Everyone, I am going to bed. Actually, I'm not. I lied to you. I'm sorry. I am going to watch a movie. Let's see what I got. Are they good or are they terrible? I will ask you all which one to watch. These aren't too bad, actually. I have Tombstone, District 9, Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer. I have Cliffhanger, Air Force One, 1917, and that is it. So, you all want to watch Conan the Barbarian, I think. 1982. Good choice, my friends. Everyone, good night. I'll see you all in the morning. I'll bring you back if anything interesting happens. We'll see how it goes with this liner. I don't know. Good night, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, it's about 7 o'clock. And all in all, it was a good night. Slept good, nice and quiet and peaceful. It wasn't too breezy. It did get cloudy, and it's been raining off and on. I guess it would be freezing rain, because it is below freezing right now. But the forecast is for light freezing rain this morning, possibly some snow, and then it's going to warm up. So we shall see what happens there. I was having some wild dreams last night. The only one that I really remember is that I was lost, and I'm not really sure what was going on exactly. I don't remember anymore, but yeah, it was wild. Again, it's something about just being exposed like this. You know, you have all of your senses going, and you can hear everything, and you can feel the breeze, and you're still asleep, and that creates a pretty good combination for wild dreams. My tarp shelter worked great with the sleeping bag liner. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. I really can't tell if it's on or not. There's 2 heating pads, one down by my feet, one on my back. I can't really tell that they're on. But this right here, this is the USB cable converter. This gets warm. This is warmer than those pads. I will give it a shot with 12-volt power, see how it does. It's supposed to double the power, double the heat. This is actually nice to hold on to because it's warm. That's ridiculous. All right, let's get up, everyone. Let's have some coffee. Coffee underneath the tarp. Yeah, since it's raining, might as well just hang out right here. I can have my stove over here in the corner. That will work well. You can see that it wasn't all that cold last night. My water did not freeze. It's frozen together. God, these matches suck. This is what's on the menu today, everyone. Oatmeal, some Trader Joe's instant coffee, and I'll mix in some Folgers because I don't fear danger. The plan for the day is pretty simple. Have breakfast, have coffee, then bounce out. This was a quick in and out trip. Now for those who want longer trips, guess what? Those are coming up. I hear you, loud and clear. I've been wanting to do a good long trip, so I'm in the middle of planning something right now. When you're using an alcohol stove, this is pretty much the best way to do it as far as efficiency goes. Make sure to have your windscreens up. That's about the best you can do. Alcohol stoves in general are not efficient. Alcohol is not an efficient fuel, but it works. And having a setup like this will maximize it. I do want to say there is a titanium version of this out there. I wonder how light it is, because this aluminum one, it's pretty heavy. Cheers, my friends. Cheers. Top of the morning to everyone. I wonder how many thousands of people are watching this video and they're saying cheers. Cheers! The alcohol stove is still burning and it's putting off quite a bit of heat. You can use a Trangia stove as a heater of sorts, but you have to keep in mind that it's super inefficient. You will blow through fuel like crazy. When I was a kid, I had many adventures up here. This is where I spent a lot of time when I was a kid, running around, building forts, just having a good time in the woods. It's funny because we weren't the only ones who were up here playing around. The other neighbor kids were too. And every once in a while, you'd be walking up here all by yourself and you would come across your neighbor friend and he's doing the same thing. Just needed to get out, have a little time to themselves, and hike the forest. Sometimes you would hang out and then sometimes you would just carry on by yourself, you know what I mean? I remember a trip, my uncle had given me a whole bunch of military surplus stuff. So I had like an Alice pack, I had some pouches, some like canteen covers. What else did I have? Maybe I had like a folding shovel as well. I remember packing that bag full. And of course, at the time, I had just blankets. I might have had a sleeping bag. And if I did have a sleeping bag, it was huge. I packed every single thing inside of that backpack. I think I even had a fishing kit, even though there's no fishing up here. Anyway, I remember coming up this mountain and getting to about this point here, and I thought I was going to die. That pack was so heavy, it was so big. I remember setting up my tent, going to bed. It was cold that night, and I remember just about freezing to death. I was so cold. It was the most miserable trip ever. I was pretty much awake all night long. I had that blanket or the sleeping bag just wrapped over my head, just breathing in it, which is a big mistake by itself. By the time I woke up, I was absolutely soaking wet with condensation from breathing inside of that thing. Oh man, good times, good memories. Some things in the outdoors you have to learn the hard way. You have to learn things through experience. That's how it goes. Folks, the adventure pretty much ends here. I'm going to pack all this up, finish up the breakfast, finish up the coffee, and call it done. It's still raining out, so I'm going to pack up the camera as well. I want to thank you all very much for joining me for this trip and every single trip. The Outdoor Gear Review has grown into an incredible community of like-minded individuals, those who want to help each other, those who want to do what's right, and that's what Strength and Honor is all about. Anyways, everyone, I appreciate you all. Hit the thumbs up because it does help the channel quite a bit. Support the channel if you want to. On to the next adventure. Oh yeah. Take care. Strength and Honor. Have a good one.